wants to get married. I've seen a video of him saying that. So it's funny, the irony of. Hello guys, welcome to Rocks and Quams. How's it going, bro?
I'm doing alright. How you doing?
Nice one. I'm good. I hope you guys are good. Before we continue, don't forget to like and subscribe. Support Rocks and Quams. What have you got for us, bro?
Yeah, before we start, make sure you subscribe and follow our Patreon.
That's right.
Subscribe to our Patreon. It's only £3 a month. That's where we're going to be uploading lots of the content that gets blocked on YouTube and
that's right.
Extra exclusive content. So support your boys.
Support us, guys.
You know, it'll help us get equipment for improve the quality of the post as well. So yeah, this is all for you guys. But yeah, thank you. Today we've got a Just Pearly video that we're going to react to, and it's a debate about whether the red pill is a trap for men.
Interesting.
So, we're not going to do the whole 2 hours, isn't it? Because that's just ridiculously long. But we're going to see maybe the first 20 minutes or so. And just,
the volume.
What up, guys? Welcome to the Just Pearly Things YouTube channel. Today, I have a special guest on the channel. Welcome, Hafiz.
What up?
This is gonna be fun. This guy, right?
I'm honestly, like I said, I definitely did land from a flight a couple hours ago, but I'm very, very excited.
Okay.
And like I told you, I don't like to talk before an episode.
Okay.
I feel like you ruined the best content. So I wasn't trying to be standoffish to you. I was just trying to say the good stuff when the cameras go on.
Got it. Guys, before we start, don't forget to like the video and ring that notification bell that we are going to be notified of my daily videos.
I'm Jonathan Haidt, and so on. Came on the show, and the whole goal was to be able to have these great conversations for the purpose of building up men. As that continued, I would also do live streams, but then I stopped doing live streams, and then eventually I would do occasional individual videos. So we did that for about 6-7 years, and now I'm transitioning to a lot more things that I'm more excited about. And yeah, so that's the elevator pitch about me and what I do.
Like what you're more excited about?
Well, I'm more excited about the Standard, the organization that we created, and the Standard is an exclusive community of high-performing men, committed to helping one another unlock their full potential physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, and through the concept of digital cities. So we're really excited about this new thing that me and my business partner are building. So my guy Joseph Hines, and just how it's going to change the world, because I think level 1 is content, but I think level 2 is actual in-person transformation, and that's what we're excited about in this next season of life.
So
for context, what does this guy do? Is he a red pill content creator, or is he just a male growth?
He's against the red pill, actually.
Oh, is it? Okay.
He doesn't like the should I say some, or should I say a lot of the ideology, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My first question.
Go ahead.
Would you consider yourself red pill?
Never in a million years.
Never? Why?
Never in a million years.
Why?
I think, to me, first and foremost, I think I don't subscribe to any man-made ideology.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of these ideologies put you in a box. So I do subscribe to religion, and people can argue whether that's man-made or not. That's going to be a great conversation, great debate. You get a guy like Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson had a great debate about that. But in regards to man-made ideologies, I don't really subscribe to them as much. And I don't like to identify myself with something that somebody else has conjured up with their own personal opinion. And so I think in regards to the red pill, is a very interesting space, a lot of interesting characters there. And I think the biggest challenge to me is the phrase that they use is that we're doing is trying to share the truth about fill in the blank, right? And to me, it's very, very arrogant as a human being to say I myself am the orator of the truth. I know the truth. My studies are the accurate studies. My ideas are the accurate ideas. I am the only individual who knows these things. And so to me, that ideology seems...
You see, it goes back to what we've been saying, that a lot of these guys, they talk like it is very definite, that it's like they've got the answer on our last video. And that's what he's basically trying to say. That a lot of these red pill guys and some dating coaches, they talk like what I'm saying is that, and if you do the opposite, you are like what the guy called us in the comment section, a beta male, or you are a weak man and you are a simp, right?
You need to open your mind. You need to broaden
Yeah.
your horizon.
Yeah,
You need to
yeah.
think
Yeah.
for yourself as well, not just go off
Mm-hmm.
hype.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds right, but like maybe it's just theoretically correct, but practically,
Exactly.
put in practice, it's not always black and white.
It's not always black
Do you
and
know what
white.
I mean?
Yeah.
And
Go out
I
there.
feel like a lot of these people have been brainwashed.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can admit, like, some of the content consumed made me think, yeah, this is definite. Okay, this, but you got to fall back a bit, because some of these people, they'll brainwash you and make you think something so definite, and
Yeah.
yeah, unless they're doing it. Do you know what I mean? You don't know their motive as well. Some of these guys come with a motive where they know they got to be more broad and open-minded, but for controversial brainwashing purposes.
And they know that most of you are vulnerable as
Exactly. So
well.
they
A girl broke your heart, your woman divorced you, so they take advantage of
and
that.
build a cult and just
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah, exactly. You're not getting girls, you're frustrated, a girl flicked on you, blah blah blah. So he thinks, okay, right now they are frustrated. It's better for me to just say whatever. I know exactly what he's trying to say from the first few minutes, and I agree with him. All right.
It's very cult-like, in my opinion.
Cult,
If you believe in them, they give you praise words like, "Oh, yo, you're red-pilled, you're an alpha male," right?
Uh-huh.
And if you disagree with them, they give you the curse words, right? You are blue-pilled, you are a beta male, right?
Are you talking about like the
I like this guy, bruv. I like this guy because he thinks outside the box. One of the ways you can find the truth that most of you are seeking is to go out there too, right? Because deep down, a lot of guys that are frustrated, right, or a girl cheated on you, most of the time, it comes down to you. It comes down to you. Everything in this life here starts from you. So sometimes you think outside the box and find out the facts on why this led to that as well, instead of always just say, oh, women are this, women are that, you're a beta male, men and women can't be friends, and you know.
comment section?
I'm just talking about this, the idea of the philosophy, right?
Okay.
So the people who subscribe to their worldview are red pill individuals, right?
Uh-huh.
Their minds have been opened up to the truth, right?
Mhm.
And the people who disagree with their ideas are considered blue pill, right? You have rejected the truth, i.e. the Matrix, right?
Uh-huh.
The guy in the Matrix, he said, I want to go back in the machine, even though I know
Uh-huh.
it. I want to go back in the machine. So to me, that seems very cult-like in regards to the ideology. And so there's a lot of different reasons why I don't subscribe to it. But those are the few things. I just cannot hold myself to an ideology that a certain individual or individuals are communicating without understanding the fullness of those ideas.
Yeah, because they would say it's a praxeology, not an ideology.
Yeah, it's very easy to use words like that, but
Uh-huh.
then you break down what does that mean?
Yeah. So my question to you is like, what specifically do you disagree with?
Great question. So when people say things like, okay, we're
Before he continues, if she asked me that question, I won't be able to answer that, because that's how people trap people. Because I've had a debate with people before, and they'll be like, okay, so why do you disagree? And sometimes, yeah, because the red pill is such a very broad thing, they're talking about so many things. It's very hard to pinpoint the things that you disagree with. And that's exactly what she's trying to do. So if I was there, I wouldn't know how to reply to that question. But then it's like in your mind, you know, certain things they say and follow is not right. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
not an ideology, we're a praxeology,
Uh-huh.
right? You have to ask yourself, are you teaching any ideas?
Uh-huh.
Like, is there any principles that your belief system is teaching? Because every human being's belief system teaches an ideas, right? And so for me, when I see that there are certain ideas and premises that are being taught, therefore you cannot simply say we are not an ideology. There is no ideals that represent the things that we believe. And so an example of what are some of the things I disagree with, I think I primarily disagree with a lot of times the descriptions of marriage
Okay.
and just how they analyze and describe marriage in today's world. I think I disagree with the analysis of male-female nature. I think if you were to read a book like The Evolution of Desire by Dr. David Buss, he's a world-leading expert on human evolutionary psychology in regards to mating. And he's fantastic. Buss School of Psychology is amazing. And you actually read a person who's like a world-renowned expert on this topic,
Mhm.
and you hear about all the nuance. And I love Dr. Buss because Dr.
Mhm.
Buss understands the nuance and the cross-cultural studies
Mhm.
and so much data. And you were to read some of the more red pill,
Mhm.
doctrinal books, you'll be like, wow, like it's literally like reading Dr. Seuss and reading something like Hamlet.
Mhm.
It's like night and day difference. And so to me, I think I acknowledge that a lot of their ideas are truthful, like any ideology, right?
Mhm.
Or whatever the heck word they're using nowadays to convince people that's not an
Mhm.
ideology. Yes, those things there's truthfulness in it,
Mhm.
but there's a whole lot of lies and a whole lot of
Mhm.
information that is not statistically accurate.
Mhm.
And that's why I've always recommended people to
Mhm.
read books like The Evolution of Desire by Dr. David Buss, and then simply read whatever red pill literature that you want and juxtapose those two ideas.
It's not just reading too, and go out and talk to people, women, not even just women.
Practice.
Go out and talk to people older than
Do
you
the
or younger
practical
than
side
you,
of
and listen
things.
to them. Someone successful than you with women, or someone having a better marriage than you, than the ones that you had, and listen to them and learn. It's not just about the reading, because I have books here on my shelf, right? And I've read a lot of books in the last 2-3 years, right? I've read over 100 books. But still, I have to go out because a lot of the stuff is just information. So go out, and I feel like this is where well, no, I won't say most. What I've seen, a lot of the red pill people in the comment section in these forums, you know all these things, but you just haven't been out there. That's the thing. So when someone on YouTube or on Reddit says something that is kind of different from what you lot think, and that person has actually been out there, you think he's a beta male, or she's weak, or she's that, you lot go out too, and then find out.
I was gonna say the issue is like going back to like the person who like commented what they commented on the last video. It's difficult to get everyone to be like, okay, I understand your opinion or your thoughts, but I disagree. There's always gonna be someone cult-like, uncult-like that just disagrees, regardless. So it's tough, but
Yeah.
it's just difficult.
You know the funny thing? I was on a red pill. Was it red pill or read one of these purple pill, whatever, on Reddit, and this guy asked one of the most funniest questions. I met this girl, and she's that he wrote all the perfect things. He's having a good time with this girl, but he just wants to find out her body count to see if he's the right girl. I was thinking, are you that stupid? You're having all this good time with the girl. She cooks. She doesn't complain.
And then you wanna it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
So you wanna find something wrong with her
Yeah.
to ruin your happiness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and these men were talking about how it's just silly to like ask a girl their body count. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Why are you asking? What, like, even if they tell you, they're 9 times out of 10 they're probably gonna lie, just to protect your happiness. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
They might be blunt and just be like, yeah, I slept with 50, and then you're upset. Like,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, man.
You know, sometimes to me, yeah,
It just, yeah.
if a girl tells me 4, maybe she slept with 4 guys, 4 guys. Sometimes I'm even scared of the 4 more than the girl that slept with 20. Because that 4, yeah, there could be 2 guys here that just changed.
Yeah, that has her in a chokehold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, whereas the girl with the 20, every guy's just different. It's just it's not different, but like it's just the same to them. It's just
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
It wasn't meaningful.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind
Those 2 guys out to the 4, you could marry to her 20 years time, and they could probably, when they come in your life, they could take care from you or cheat on you. So I just don't bother. But this guy, and I saw women saying, "Are you going to actually win something if you've had going on with this girl because of her body count?" And even guys were saying that. Red pill guys were saying that.
It's true. I don't know. Or maybe it's just when you're in the relationship as well. You try to look, you notice something, and then you're like, nah, she must have done something else. So, I don't know, man.
And you'd be extremely astonished to the differences.
Well, it's just because everything you're saying is very broad.
Yeah.
So you even said like their teachings on marriage, because like from my understanding of red pill is that they're not anti-marriage or pro-marriage. They're anti-marriage as it is today and the way the laws are today. And do you disagree with that?
So I'm gonna give you an example,
Okay.
and I'm excited because I'm really excited about the way you're processing this.
Yeah.
So let's go into marriage. So here's a fundamental challenge. Okay.
Mhm.
So red pill is very broad,
Okay.
very broad, right?
Really? I don't think so, actually.
You don't think so?
No.
So do you think a person like Alpha Male Strategies teaches the same exact ideas as Coach Greg Adams?
I know more about Alpha Male Strategies than Coach Greg Adams.
Okay.
I haven't watched a lot of Coach Greg.
Okay.
AMS, he's like the fuck these hoes to sleep type.
Yeah, but he's evolved. That's
yeah.
old school AMS.
I don't know. I
That's
just if
old
a guy
school
tells me
AMS.
he watches AMS, I'm like, I gotta
Yeah,
run.
yeah, but even to that point, right?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? She just did something that most people will not observe, right? She's talking about red pill. She shares red pill stuff, right? Yet she's disagreeing with. She's still. You see, one thing that you lot don't, because I've watched this video, but someone sent it to me, right? No matter whatever she's saying, she's still a woman. Whether she says she's a red pill, blah blah blah, she is still a woman. And listen to the way she said, oh, when I hear AMS, I just, right? But AMS is red pill. AMS is basically also talking about red pill stuff sometimes, right? Yet, she still doesn't like the way AMS delivers stuff. It's going to show you, yeah, that she's just selling you lot stuff, fam. It's like a dream, bro. Because at the end of the day, she's still a woman. At the end of the day. And she's in deep down, she's going to also still be loyal to their, what's the word for them?
Hen? I'm joking though.
Hen, I guess. She's still deep down, she's still going to be loyal, no matter what she claims to be and what she claims to sell or teach, right? She's still deep down going to be loyal.
Or like biased to females.
Yeah, like deep down, she still side with females. There's certain things she will still. It's like a natural
I think
thing.
it's because maybe in them videos that she's watched, she just sounds and seems misogynist. Comes across as a misogynist, maybe. So it's like, oh, okay, too raw. You know, you're talking about my people, basically, my gender.
All red
and
pill
derogatory.
guys sounds misogynist to me.
So
Or if you're saying the AMS is misogynist, then all of them are misogynist because some of the stuff they say, right? To me, it's bad. It's worse than AMS. AMS, he says fuck these hoes to sleep. Yeah, you could fuck your girl to sleep. Is that misogynist?
not exactly, just how you interpret.
But yeah, just feel like no matter what, she's still a woman, you know. Anyway.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're like, I gotta run.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of there's there's individuals like Steffes Cole. I'm not sure if Steffes Cole still call himself Red Pill, but you have the Steffes Cole guys.
Right.
A lot different than Coach Red Pill.
Okay.
A lot different.
Okay.
So what I'm articulating is that within the Red Pill umbrella,
Yeah.
there's a diversity of individuals.
Yeah.
There's far right, there's guys who are a little bit more balanced. So what usually happens when we're having this conversation, which requires so much nuance, and I'm glad we're able to dive into it, is that when you're describing the red pill, what people want to do is one of two things. You either want to steel man them or you want to straw man them. The argument that you're probably feeling like, and some people may feel like, is I straw man them, right? You pick the worst ideas of the red pill, the worst content creators, and then you define the red pill as that. But then on the flip side is a steel man, where you find some of their best, brightest ideas, ignore all the negativity, nonsense ideas, and then define that as a red pill.
No, I mean, to me, it's like there's a base set of ideas, and people have different ideas of what to do with it.
Who defines the base set of ideas?
I would say that I think that's mostly who defines the base. I would say Rollo Tomasi. I think he seems to be like leading that like today, but before it seems like it was Patrice O'Neal possibly.
So you think Patrice O'Neal was?
No, I think a lot of like it seems like a lot of ideas derived from him, but it seems like it goes around Rollo Tomasi. That's what it seems like.
So the interesting part of the conversation, going back to the red pill conversation, because I know you want to talk about this, is that there is no single source. There's no doctrinal source. There's a lot of individuals who've written their books and shared their ideas as red pill, and depending on what school of thought you're in, a lot of individuals will say, well, that's not red pill for me. He's not red pill for me. Maybe in your world, he's red pill pill for you. And some people, red pill for them might
Mhm.
be Coach Greg Adams. People,
Mhm.
red pill for them might be Fresh and Fit.
Mhm.
People, red pill for them
Mhm.
might be AMS. People, red pill for them might be Coach
Mhm.
Red Pill. Some people,
Mhm.
red pill for them might
But
be.
they all seem to say the same ideas.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
it's
like, so I'm just like, if we're gonna say they're different, like,
I don't think they pretty much say the same ideas.
No, they're all different.
Yeah.
You say different stuff. That's why it's so broad.
Yeah.
But yeah. But
Yeah.
with it, even though it's broad, it can be specific and not so broad. Like you can narrow it down and generalize red pill content. I think that's all she's getting at.
Coach Greg Adams. Yeah. When did I first watch them? Because some of the people she's mentioned, I remember.
I can't lie. That's the thing, and that's the thing. I don't
2019.
have the biggest because I don't know who Coach Greg.
I know who
Is he the bodybuilder guy? No, that's
No.
a different Greg.
I'll show you.
Okay.
Let
Because
me-
I know Steph is cold. AMS.
Yeah. Let me tell
And
you
that's
something.
it, pretty much. From
AMS, when did AMS start? 2017, 2018? I remember AMS videos, yeah. I remember all these guys, the guy just mentioned, yeah. And a lot of them, yeah, they've only changed their content now, yeah. Steph is cold. You remember, he was raw and bitter. Until they started to learn AMS ideology about dating and alpha male and stuff like that, and then they started to switch it, right? I remember Coach Greg Adams, he was just as raw too. He wasn't talking about high value male enough. He was talking about just being raw bitter about why you shouldn't get married. At that time they were MGTOW. They were not red pill. At that time they were MGTOW. I remember because I've been following these things for a long time, and it's funny to me how all of a sudden, yeah, they all change. A lot of the things that we see in red pill today is kind of from AMS. They took a lot of AMS ideologies and AMS what do you call it, dating advice, right? And then they kind of switched it to, and that's why the first thing she said was F these hoes to sleep, because AMS they picked AMS stuff and
generalized.
yeah. And if you've noticed, a lot of these guys too, they started to go to the gym and look. Where did that come from?
part,
AMS started to kind of promote that. Go to the gym, focus on your purpose. I remember that time, that focus on your purpose and be on your purpose, it wasn't even that pop. People weren't even saying that much. When the AMS came in, AMS started to get big, and then everyone, I remember them. So it's therefore, he's right. There's no source. There's no like cause of all this. It's just people just pick and evolve into it. That's what it is, really. I remember because you might used to talk about Steph is cold. Why is this guy so bitter? He used to women remember, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Me and Mike used to say that. You be shouting. Now he doesn't do that much because he took stuff. Ken Richards used to complain about. Well, I remember Ken Richards' video about Steph is cold. Now I'm not disrespecting his Steph is cold, but I'm just saying that people just pick.
Nitpick.
Yeah, at that time it wasn't red pill. I remember at that time it was MGTOW. MGTOW now I don't even know where it's at now. It's not as popular anymore. Yeah. And I remember one time Ken Richards, years ago, Ken Richards was complaining about Steph is cold taking people's contents and then creating it into his own. I remember when they used to argue and go to war with each other. I remember this. But a lot of the red pill today, yeah, starts from AMS ideologies, bro. A lot of the ideologies the red pill people use today, right, was mainly AMS ideologies. I remember because I think AMS, his first video, or his first videos I was watching, it was either 2017 December, around that time, correct me if I'm wrong, or 2018 beginning, somewhere, bruv. I remember.
What is different?
Okay, so in regards to each individual, I can't get into the nuances of each individual. So there are some individuals who are, when it comes to marriage, are explicitly marriage. I think the whole institution of marriage in the Western world is done. It's over. It doesn't work. It's a failed system. X, Y,
I agree.
X, Y, and
Yeah.
Z. Cool. So that's why why red pill
Yeah.
aligns to you, because those emotional sentiments rock with you. So then it's
not
other
emotional. It's because of the way it is legally.
100%.
Yeah.
So those legal sentiments
Yeah.
rock with you,
Yeah.
and we can get into
Okay.
how does those things fleshed out.
Uh-huh.
But then on the flip side, which you have other individuals who say, well, in actuality, well, I do believe that in the sanctity and the beauty of marriage, and if you're going to do marriage outside of the state, I'm all for it, right? So yeah, some people is like, even with or without the state, institution is broken, women are broken, society is broken, doesn't even matter. Then some people are like, well, outside of the state,
Yeah.
I support it, I agree with
Well,
it.
it
There's
seems like
nuance in
it
that.
seems like their prescriptions are different, but their description is the same.
Yeah, but-
Typically. So like they'll say these are the flaws in women, these are the flaws in marriage, but like they have different prescriptions. So some people will still go through with it with a prenup, and other people will say screw it all together.
And so prescribing a behavior
Yeah.
is telling people what to do, and telling people.
Please, woman, it's not as simple as the way you put it, because you got so many toxic people on there that this whole red pill thing has polluted a lot of people. It has polluted a lot of people's mind. And you can call me a beta like that guys did. I've been following this shit, yeah, way before some of you guys. A lot of you guys, yeah. And me and Michael, we used to talk about it. We used to talk about it. Right? Why is there so many guys becoming so bitter about this? I've been looking into these things way before. And today, 2023, I would say it's gotten worse. It has polluted so many people's mind. And then Andrew Tate came in and even made it even more worse to me, right? But to me, it has polluted people's mind. That's what I think, innit? Yeah. Don't make it sound so simple. It's not that simple. That sign a prenup, and that one my mom can even tell me that if I was to become a millionaire today, right? So don't make it sound simple. It's very complex, because I'm on Reddit all the time here. When I'm awake, I look through Reddit, and it's toxic.
People what to do also creates a form of an ideology. So if I say I have 10 rules that I believe men should follow, and then say I have no ideology, that doesn't make any sense. So to me, an ideology isn't a bad thing. I have an ideology. You have an ideology. Every human has an ideology. So my biggest argument is not that the ideology is bad, but don't lie and say that you don't have an ideology when we all have an ideology. So in regards to your original question about the red pill, I believe a lot of what they say is half truths. And like I said, for example, if you really analyze human and male nature and female nature, there's a lot of really dark and disturbing things about female nature when you can get to the rawness of it, right?
Yeah.
And if you were an individual and you were simply communicating those raw, dark truths about what is true, it could be very simple to realize that, wow, man, these are really, really bad things.
I'll give you an example. Felons have 30% more children than non-felons.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I don't. So you just threw out a number.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. You have nothing to back it up. So another example is, I'm sorry, we got to stop there. What happens in this community? What happens with the people who have the school of thought? They'll throw out numbers. Where did that stat come from?
Where did it come from?
Where did it come from?
Off the top of my
Like 5% of women, only 5% women swipe on dating apps. And everyone say, okay, I don't get any. Oh, see, this is why dating apps doesn't work.
I don't know, but it's easy to Google.
I know
like
it's easy.
If you Google it, it's like at the top of Google.
It's easy to Google, right?
Yeah.
But the reality of the matter is, when people are sharing their statistics and numbers, a lot of times they don't know. They can't even tell you the primary source. So,
right, because it's like off the top of your head, you're not going to know. Like,
100%.
right
But why should I believe you? Why should I believe you?
Yeah, okay, but if I'm saying if I got you the stat, I could look it up now.
I know you could look.
Yeah.
You can take your time. You can pause the episode. You can look it up. But my point is that a lot of times in this community, they'll throw statistics and data at you. You're not privy to statistics and data.
Yeah.
Some of it is true. Some of it is false, right? And I can go into some of the truths and false as well. Not able to simply look things up. You're in a conversation where you're like, okay, I'm gonna give this person the benefit of the doubt. But if the data is simply skewed by sheer numbers, it can totally dispel whether this person's communicating the truth or not.
Yeah, but it's easy to just like Google it.
I know, but what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
listen carefully.
Uh-huh.
If you and I are having a podcast conversation and you have 15 data points that justify your worldview, but you don't know the source, you know the primary, secondary source, we could stop this episode, and every time you pull up numbers, we could look at it. You can look them up. You can pull them up. You can show it to me. But that's going to take too long. So usually in conversations like this, you're not able to do so. So therefore, what you're forced to do in these conversations is whenever someone gives you a statistic, the individual's called to believe it. And I've seen that happen myself because I'm a data person as well. You've consumed my content, so you know some of it. I'm a data person myself. So when I share data, there's times where I'm like, oh, well, that number was wrong. But because we're in the middle of a conversation, people simply believe me.
Yeah.
And so to me,
which is fine, then you just update it.
I know, but in the midst of the conversation, when we're having these conversations and when we're sharing all these data, a lot of people will spew data and numbers that they don't even it could be truly false.
I understand sometimes.
But one thing I'll see that she's cool though. She's cool. She's a calm girl, understanding girl. I like people like that. She seems cool. Because imagine someone will be just interrupting him and yeah, she's cool. I respect her though.
Misinformation happens.
100%, and it's not perfect. I'm not saying you're trying to deceive me. But what I'm saying is that there has to be a level of accountability when we're saying this is the truth. So for one of the things that I've been improving on in regards to my speech is that if I share a number, if I really don't know the primary source or I'm not willing to pull it up immediately, right, I'll say, well, you know what, I think this is the number, or I'm not sure this is the number. But what happens is when you say 110%, this is true. The divorce rate in America is 50%. It is true. And then you share these explicit narratives, and then when you simply analyze them and break them down, you realize that's not the case.
Yeah, but then you switch it. But I don't think it's wrong to just say a number.
It's nothing wrong.
And then I look it up and it's right. Like I've looked that up before.
But that's not what I think you're getting lost. You're getting lost in the specific point. I'm talking about the meta point. The meta point is that when people are communicating.
So people are talking about marriage, yeah, because this is a very good question to whoever is watching this. So, marriage, yeah, you men shouldn't get married, blah blah blah. Da, 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 da. You meet a girl, because it's so easy to say these things when it hasn't happened, right? Or when you're online, you meet a girl, yeah, she does everything you could dream of or you've never experienced, which I know deep down a lot of guys has never experienced some of the crazy things or the extra things a woman would do. You meet this girl and she's nice, booty nice, boobs, she smiles, polite, whatever you want. Say it's good, whatever, cooking, she doesn't complain, whatever you red pill say, you don't want a combative woman, a masculine woman, cool. You're with her for 1 year, 2 years, she's still consistent and she wants to get married. What are you going to do? Are you going to say that red pill said...
Red pill advocate, man, like, you know how I stand. Maybe, though, they might stand, because a person might stand on what they've said, regardless of how this person has changed their life, and still be like, I don't feel... They'll contest and be like, I don't feel like we need to get married to show our...
But she wants to get married. Which, to me, a lot of girls would want to get married.
Yeah, but then as a guy... I wouldn't even say it's stubbornness. Well, it is sort of stubborn, but like, no, I don't want to get married. Then what?
You're going to let this girl go. And like, I know a lot of guys too are dry. Most of the time, you probably don't even get sex. Right? You're dry, you come back home lonely. I hear stories. I've since I was 19, I've been working, so I've met older people over the time. No, guys are lonely over there in this world. It's sad. So, and then that woman comes and you're going to tell me because Andrew Tate or just Presley said it. So you're standing on it. You're a red pill guy. You're standing on it. And most of you will never be high value. Your description of high value. Most of you are not going to be millionaires. Let's just be honest. So you're going to let her go because...
Yeah, it's just not worth letting a lot of all that, what you've been through and stuff that you got together going on. But I feel like in that case... This thing, I don't know the statistics, but I'm sure in that case, it's not a scenario that happens that often. More time, I think people discuss marriage and stuff before they get deep into it. I feel like for the most part, I'm sure. I don't know, because I know as humans, a lot of times we'll get, you just get into a routine of doing things, and then when shit hits the fan, you're like, oh, damn, okay. Because I've heard of people separating because they just didn't agree with. Oh, we didn't want kids now. Oh, I did then, or I never knew you didn't want kids, or something like that, and they've been together for like 10 years. Or I didn't know you wanted to get married. They've been together for 10 years or whatever. So
to me, they're damn fools. I'm not trying to be judgmental, but if you do that, you are special. Even she's talking about marriage and stuff. She wants to get married. I've seen a video of her saying that. So it's funny, the irony of her promoting this. Yeah, deep down, she wants a guy slightly taller than her or taller than her or whatever.
She's quite tall herself.
Yeah, she said all of those things. It's like, so then you're kind of contradicting yourself, bro. The promotion or women only want a certain top percent. But listen.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why I said that no matter what, she's still a woman, fam. You get what I'm saying? But we forget all of these things, Yeah, anyway. We finished doing this.
Keen statistics.
Uh-huh.
The audience is totally dependent upon the orator, and if that person says, "I am the bearer of the truth," a lot of times in the midst of a conversation, a lot of people communicate numbers that may or may not be true.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing is that when a lot of these individuals are communicating numbers, I'm the kind of person where I'm like, "Hey, let's stop, let's analyze them, and let's see whether they're true or not."
Is there a common talking point that isn't true that you're thinking of?
I think one of the biggest conversations that is not discussed is how marriage has changed from the 90s till today.
Okay, go on.
If you look up the divorce rates, divorce rates have been decreasing from the 1990s until today. There's a lot of different studies and a lot of different analyzation.
Go on.
A lot of different. So, are you listening or are you trying to talk?
I'm listening.
I'm curious.
I'm listening.
Because you kind of seem like you're waiting for me to stop talking so you can say something.
No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
I think they should get married.
So, in regards to the divorce numbers, a lot of the divorce numbers that are communicated today, they're not all. Those are a lot of previous numbers. And when you're factoring into the trends that are leading to the lowering of divorce rates, as well as all the different cross-cultural analysis of divorces, there's a lot that can be learned about divorces. So, in regards to the Western world and a lot of the divorces having issues, they're 100% right. But we have to communicate. Well, here's the reality. The divorce rate has been going down. And why has the divorce rate been going down? And the reason why the divorce rate is going down is because we've learned a lot of different things about marriage, about divorce, about why the divorce rate skyrocketed.
I was just thinking, I swear I've heard statistics that it's going up, divorce rates are going up, or maybe it's going down, but marriage is going down.
Possibly. Interesting. Listen, people are still getting married out there,
Yeah,
People
but
are still-
I think the statistic is that, say, from the 90s till now, the marriage rate is low. But people who are married currently, I swear, no, I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I swear I've always heard, it's getting lower. Because when he said it, I'm thinking, it's getting lower. Yeah, like, because we're learning about, like, a lot of people are learning they don't need to be married or, I don't know.
Me, that thing they don't need to, I think it's bullshit, man. That whole, we don't need to get, a lot of people are going to get married.
Yeah, I was thinking that a lot of these people who are consuming this Red Pill content, 10, 20 years time, they're probably going to be happily married.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way you're all going to be alone and single.
Yeah. A lot of you are going to get married, partner up.
But then it might, with what I just said, maybe it backs what I said up. Like, maybe these people do stick to their word and they don't get married. So the marriage rate plummets. So I don't know.
A lot of people are going to listen. I've met so many girls that will say, "Oh, I don't want to get married." I just laugh, and they'll be like, "Why are you laughing?" Sometimes I tell them why. A lot of people will get married. But like I said, they're looking at it from that high value bullshit. Most of you are not going to be high value. Let's just be honest. You can improve. I'm not saying not being a high value man doesn't mean, your description of high value man doesn't mean you're not improving or you're not becoming a better man. But your description of high value, most of you are not going to be high value. You see what I'm saying? Because every time I've heard people say high value on TikTok or whatever, they talk about a guy with millions and most guys are not going to. Just be honest. Let's just be honest. Most guys are not going to be high value. So look at your life right now and just be honest with you. Would you be able to stay in this house by yourself until you're 50? And the second question is, are you getting girls on a regular like that to be saying that you're not going to get married? That's another question you should ask yourself. You get me? So sometimes just be realistic. I've slept with a lot of girls, he knows, right? But I still want to settle down. Because that ideology too that they've sold out there that, you sleep with so many girls and it gets lonely. That's something that people don't want to tell you. It gets lonely too. That sleeping around thing is cold. That world is a cold world. It's a cold world. And if you want me to make a video, ask to make a video about it, it's a cold world, and it's for some reason I feel like a lot of dating coaches don't talk about. Because I don't know if it will make them weak or I don't. But it's a cold world for men and women. Because I've spoken to girls that I used to whatever and sleep with, and they will tell me, and they will tell me some deep stuff, and I can't relate to. So a lot of you will get married. Stop that cap or whatever they will say. Yeah, that's fair, man. Fuck it. Anyway.
Rocket initially in 1970s to begin with. And so there's a lot of, when you hear a number, statistics are great under the broad scope of a conversation. But when you're really trying to dive deeper into what's going on in today's society, statistics tell you a story, right? So once you understand the story behind the number, then you can understand why the number is practical. So in my question is, so one of the biggest things that we've worked on is that if we're going to give a number, we want to also tell the story behind a number and how is that beneficial to improving the lives of people today. And so to me, that's one of my different points of view is that if you're simply holding on to any worldview.
Before I could, so you don't want to get married, yeah, but you want to just sleep around, get girl pregnant, and you live in your own house. Just do you know how many kids will be effed up if everyone is doing that in this world? And because you don't say you don't want to get married, number one, but you want to have kids, a lot of you, but you don't want to be a baby mother. So the world will be messed up then, because the kids. Use your damn head, bruv. You don't just talk. Use your head. One of the reasons why I want to get married is because I want to have kids, and I feel like we live in a time the youth and the kids are effed up so much. And one of the reasons is because it was a missing father at home. And you lot talk about red pill. This is the times when the world needs strong men at home. Strong men and women at home. Not even just at home, together. And working together. So if your relationship failed here, like I said, your relationship failed in the beginning. You met the girl, she showed you signs, or that you just chose to ignore, or you didn't have the experience or whatever to ignore. So, but that whole idea, every kid's gonna be fatherless at home. The dad comes in, we see each other twice a week. It's just not enough. Just think about this before you lot talk, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it from on a wider scale, because I know what I'm saying. You know them. It's becoming mad, fam. You know what I mean? So, and it's getting out of control. We live in a time, the Gen Z or whatever, Gen X, I don't know. They have the most mental health problems. And you know why? Because a lot of them they need love. No, a lot of them don't have love at home. They're empty. And then you lot talk about high value. You lot care about the wrong things. You care about the wrong things. But this whole dating thing is deeper than just being a high value man and I'm not going to date. I'm going to get my passport and go somewhere else. It's so deep. It's so deep. Because there's so many things that's going on in this world that I feel like, if only the two generations before us had strong father figures. If only that. And then you lot are talking about you don't want to get married, but a lot of you want to have kids. So I'm already tired, just laugh. You don't want to get married, but you want to have kids. So then you're actually adding to the problem now. You might as well just not have kids.